Welcome to the AR-15 podcast. This show is for you if you just bought your first AR or if you've been building them for years. There is something we can all do to take our black rifles to the next level. My name is Nick Dooley, and I am joined tonight by my very special co-host, Garth Hofer.
Oh, you're so kind. You know, guys, for those of you who want a glimpse into what Nick is like, I was running around frantically like a chicken with my head cut off, trying to get ready for GunCon because we leave tomorrow. And so I sit down, I'm fried, I'm frizzled. I've been trying to clean my pickup and Jeep and decide which one we're going to take. And I sit down, get my headphones on, and Nick sees that I'm just a whole 100% mess. And so he just starts like this.
What Garth was doing was looking at the camera and then acting like he was talking, but not.
Well, no. I told you I was going to unplug my headphones so I could get my cord all situated. And all of a sudden, Nick's going, I'm like, what? I lost my cool for a minute, and he thought it was hilarious. But yeah, fun, real fun. So,
Yeah, because
I'm not organized like you, and you know how I do things. I don't run on time ever. I usually get a text about 7:50. Hey, are we doing this tonight? Yes, I'll be there.
And organized is definitely the word people would use to describe me.
100%. More than I. So, laugh it up. Oh, funny, whatever.
No, that's fine. You have the like OCD, style of I'm not organized because things are in their place. And I have the Dooley decimal system.
Yes. Yeah. We'll go with that.
That's what it was referred to once because I just reach in and magic things into my hand.
100%. So yeah, all right. Let's light this pig, okay? That's how you say it, right? Cool.
Yeah, something like that. It's like this fire.
Yeah, that works too, because you roast a pig in fire, unless you bury it in the ground.
Which is still on coals.
Which is still on coals.
Fire.
Is. Anyway, let's go with the useless fact of the week by yours truly, okay? So let's do it. Nicholas, did you know that gunpowder was invented by the Chinese in the 9th century?
Yes.
Okay, cool. So the first gun was made in 1080 in China. What did they use to make the barrel of said gun, and what did they fire out of it?
Bamboo.
No. Yes, it was bamboo. What did they fire?
Well, it depended because there's a couple different methods I've seen where they used both stone to fire out, and then they've used a paper wad, like a firework that had other stuff like a pulp in it.
Mm-hmm. Well, so basically you nailed it on the head. I was unprepared this week, so I random Googled something, and it wasn't as cool as the first 2 weeks. So I will do better next week. Well, actually, we're not doing a show next week, so.
Yes. See, I do know that, so, like, the original version of doing that, I know that, in taco people, I'm like, what? It's just a little potassium nitrite, like, and started talking about, like, how to make, gunpowder, which actually is not hard to do, to make true black powder.
Yeah.
Like, you can do it with basic, chemicals. It's saltpeter, which is sulfur, charcoal, and potassium nitrate, and so stump remover, and you can make a very basic black powder at home.
Well, yeah, 100%. I mean, so there's always a way to get your hands on something, or like we were when we were growing up. I don't know if you ever made any potato guns growing up. But you can really do some damage with a potato gun. And then, of course, no one just sticks a potato in there. They stick golf balls and bowling balls and things like that.
See, those are called cannons.
Well, technically, yes, but it was we never used a bowling ball. We just used like golf balls and stuff like that.
See, and the good thing about cannons is they're completely legal to own.
100%. Actually,
You
that is on the list someday to own. Just not like a big cannon, but I want like the small one I could fit on my desk and like could be dangerous enough to shoot a hole through my vault door over there. Not okay. It's not a vault door. Don't everyone freak out. It's more like a really heavy steel door though. So
yeah, like,
yeah,
I get it. I've thought about casting my own salute gun before.
I mean that'd be pretty sweet, honestly. I, things in the future, when I get really bored on the farm someday.
I mean, I like cannons. Cannons are fun.
Yeah, cannons are super cool. I always like relate back to Mythbusters when they did it and they shot that bowling ball like a mile away and went through like 5 houses. So, and I feel like that's what would happen. Not like per se us because we are in the wide open spaces and we would do it in a better controlled environment than them, but it'd be fun.
Oh yeah. See, the trick is to get an old oxygen acetylene tank
Mm,
and cut the end of it off, and then because the diameter of the internal diameter of those is actually really close to a bowling ball,
hmm
and they're already pressure tested.
Oh yeah,
So
that's fair.
yeah, it's actually really easy to make a cannon if you have a handful of materials.
Well, I'm sure we could find a handful of materials someday. So,
Mhm. Precisely. So since our last show,
hmm,
uh, we talked a lot about the range. We talked a lot about shooting.
we did.
Um, let's see. Built a bore 80. What about the yeet cannon? And neither one of us own a high point.
I once did, and then I removed it from my collection. I let it back into the wild, but I know the individual who has it, and I'm in talks with getting it back.
Well, that's good.
Just because I want to take it to our buddy Cody and have him do all sorts of crazy Cerakote and laser engraving on it because I think it'd be fun to shoot a yeet cannon once at a USPSA match.
I could see that.
Yeah, why not? Especially if
So
I won open and beat someone that I'm not going to say in there because he might listen.
those things happen. Uh, but no, when you run with those things, or well, actually, I shouldn't say that because that was just a really weird transition. Did we do anything fun with guns after the range?
After the range. Um, what day did we even go to the range? A week ago
Last week,
today?
Wednesday.
Yeah,
Yeah.
holy cow. No, because I was away getting a buddy married, and then I got back on Sunday evening. I guess I did do some stuff to my range today. I went out and sprayed everything, gave it a new coat of paint after the
Abuse.
abuse, yeah, that we put all my steel targets through. So I did look at a shooting tree today. Man, those things get expensive.
Yeah, dueling trees are not cheap.
Not at all. So that is, I think, on the list. I have one that a very crude one that I had a friend weld up for me, and the welds kind of snapped on it for like the catch of the steel when it swung around. So that needs to be redone. But overall, not a horrible first attempt by him. But I think I do want to get a better built one someday. But yeah, no. So I really didn't do anything too fun with guns. My gun room is getting worse and worse, and I keep saying I'm going to clean it every night, but I keep pushing it off for the next week. So I think maybe Monday or maybe a nice July 3rd evening home alone. It might be an all day project.
Well, that's
Just
fair.
yeah, I actually just found a gun that had been missing for a month, mostly because I didn't get into the pickup we took to Grand Island. And I was like, ha, hey, neat. Look at that. I was wondering where that was.
And look at that, it's right where I left it.
Right exactly where I left it. Yeah, crazy. So yeah, um,
I finished a shotgun build.
mhm.
Um I finished a build out of a JM 930 into a tactical shotgun, but not a competition shotgun.
Mm-hmm.
This one is a straight up fighting shotgun.
Well, I mean, you could run it in our Outlaw Club, but you have to reload it because you normally we
I
just do
have
like.
I have other shotguns that I would run for competition. This is a fighting shotgun.
Oh.
Like, I am not going to monkey with internals.
Oh, that's fair. So,
yet.
what's its weight class? You said it was a fighting shotgun.
Har har har.
I've got jokes. Yes. It's weird that I get to do the dad joke to you. So.
Yes, that is fair. But tonight, guys, we are doing something just a little bit different. And we alluded to it in the last episode for anyone who listened to that live or caught it on Monday. Garth, we're doing a top 5 list.
Yeah.
Like, it's not normally our jam. We don't normally get down with the top 5s.
Honestly, though, like top 5s are how I basically got into firearms in the first place, and I think Iraq veteran 88 because before I knew anything about guns, like I always grew up with guns and stuff, but like what I actually needed to own and stuff like that, I just searched on YouTube top 5 guns a guy should own. And Iraq veteran had it. And, man, I watched a whole bunch of his videos when he was first in the pawn shop and stuff. And I ate those videos up. And so top 5 guns have, that takes me back. So, and I'm still kind of debating on how we're going to do our format tonight. Cause that changes my list a few times.
Well, I have my list, and I have a list of honorable mentions.
That's fair.
So
why don't you break it down for everyone listening so they know, and so I can decide which one I'm going to do.
So for this is like, I know you'd said, like, you'd gone through a couple different situations. Like, is it top 5? And I'm like, these are the 5 guns that you should have in your inventory.
Okay.
And I'm not saying that, these are like kind of the minimum of the everyman arsenal that I can see.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you should have, this is the setup that pretty much everyone should have. If you could only have 5 guns, these are the 5 guns that I would pick. Again, I do have honorable mentions.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah.
See, that's where I'm torn, because if just 5 guns you should have in a collection, well, that's pretty easy. But
if you can only have 5 guns,
okay,
these are the 5 guns you have.
This is all right. Now this is it. Like, the government has come down and said, "Hey, guns are cool. You can only own 5, and you can do whatever you want to them, but you can only have 5."
Sure, we'll go with that.
It just helps my brain compute things. Okay, I need to hear that. All right, then I'm totally good. Then list is saved.
Because I'm not going to say I can do it. You can do whatever you want to them, because that would change mine immensely. Because
so we're just going stock then.
Well, I'm just saying. Yeah. No. Remember, I think about things differently than you do.
Correct, but we're talking like, if they're saying we can only own 5, they're not going to give us machine guns.
Correct.
So I never had that thought in my head.
Yeah, I did.
I know you did.
Because happiness is a belt-fed weapon.
All right, man. So where do you want to start? Do you just want to do number 1, or you go for it, man? I don't want to do my hands.
So I am not going to put these in any proper order.
Okay.
But I'm going to do one, and this is my bottom tier, or not bottom tier. This is I'm just going to pull the one that speaks to me right now, that this is the one that I should mention.
Okay.
And in my list, I have it at the number 4 seed, but that's because it was like, nope, that's where it's at. Mm-hmm. So I have a controversial pick as well.
Okay.
But no, I'm going to say you should have a Ruger 1022 or the equivalent.
Fair, man. I will be honest, that did not make the list, and that it really resonated with me because I'm a rimfire kind of guy, but in the grand scheme of things, I couldn't justify it to make my top five. So I'll let you go ahead and explain why.
So the reason why, and like this one was a hard one for me because ideally I would have said like, no, with your AR you just have a 22 conversion
Mm-hmm.
and run 22 that way. But I decided that a dedicated like 1022, and of course, since it's me, everything I'm going to talk about, pretty much except for one gun, will have a. I will say, put a can on it,
Yeah,
and that Ruger 1022 is that plinker, the game getter. Like you need to shoot rabbits and squirrels.
yeah,
That's the gun you're going to use.
fair enough. I get it. It makes sense. I mean, ammo is readily available and it's still cheaper than most guns to shoot. So a 22 does make sense.
It's something that you can hand to someone who doesn't have a lot of experience, and
Mm-hmm.
they can effectively engage targets with it. Like that is kind of where I'm at.
That totally. I'm okay with it, man. Totally. So, all right, cool. Um, since we're not gonna do them in order, I might backtrack it and go with my number five pick in the AR-15 top five guns you must own draft. A semi-auto shotgun. Uh, Personally, myself, yeah, semi-auto, not pump, semi-auto. Um, I would go honestly with the gun I'm trying to get rid of right now. I would probably go with the JM Pro 930 or 940. It's a fairly inexpensive shotgun on the market as far as semi-autos go. You can hold a 9+1 capacity. I believe it's chambered all the way up to 3 inch. So it just makes sense that someone should have a shotgun for a number of reasons. One, you can hunt with it, taking birds and smaller game with it. You can
Deer,
use it,
elk,
deer. I mean, yeah,
grizzly bears.
if you're using slug, 100% you can do that. I was more thinking like shot shell, but yeah, so you can use a whole plethora of different slugs. You can use double-aught buck for home defense. I think a 12 gauge shotgun is amongst the five guns any gun owner should have in their arsenal, especially if you could only own five, because it has such a versatile, you know, effect on things.
Yeah. Uh, so Dirt Racer 412 from Rumble said that 22 will drop a Georgia deer, and RB over on YouTube, my DD lower is on its way back because stuck on safe. And I'm going to guess he was referring to Daniel Defense.
I would assume so.
And I know a handful of gunsmiths who would have taken a look at it and been like, all right, we can figure it out. But also that is a QC issue that a company that prides itself on such amazing quality, allegedly, should not have. And it's I would say they're okay. And then Dusky says a 20 gauge is okay, but with ammo price and availability sucks.
Well, it's the same
In
with the
regards,
410 though too.
yep. I am also so in my list here. Also, that was actually what I had wrote down third was a semi-auto shotgun,
Mm-hmm.
and the two that I picked were either the Beretta A300 Patrol, because again you have that 8+1 capacity, or the 930 or 940 from Mossberg.
Mm-hmm. And I'm guessing for kind of the similar reasons what I alluded to.
Yeah, it's well, it is a shotgun is the most, honestly, it's the most versatile platform on the planet. You can do a lot with it. You
Mm-hmm.
can take down any animal in North America with a 12
Yeah,
gauge slug.
that is
Like,
very correct.
I know Garth does not like shooting slugs.
I don't mind shooting slugs. The gun I was shooting out of a week and a half ago, the stock was not properly padded. it was not enjoyable. With the proper stock on it, it would have been a lot more, gooder to shoot. But
Pleasant.
pleasant, yeah, pleasant is a good word. No, so I don't have a problem slug. I have a whole plethora of slugs in my ammo storage area, but I just don't shoot them anymore because, well, I was shooting out like 870 or something like that. But yeah, slugs are okay. I personally prefer to shoot 20 gauge slug. I had a whole bunch of that too, and 410. Love shooting that stuff, but it's hard to find 410. So
No, 12 gauge semi-auto shotgun. Again, those are the two I mentioned. Are two that I would be willing to bet my life on right now today, and they're not overly expensive. Like, I would love to have a Beretta 1301.
Yeah,
but I have not shot one, so I cannot speak to how good they are. So I'm not going to say that. But those are ones that I'm like, nope, that is where it's at. Like that right there is
I don't know if go for it. Yeah, that's fine. Sorry, I just wanted
that's
to
where
say.
I would put it. So, but with that, I'm going to bring up my first honorable mention because we both mentioned semi-auto shotguns.
All right, bring it
up. My first honorable mention is the pump action shotgun.
Yeah, I mean, it's a solid. Are we talking Remington 870? Because that's like the only.
No, God, no. If you're talking about
like
Remington, if it's a Remington 870, it has to be made before 1998.
Okay.
No, any modern 870 since after any post Freedom Group 870, hard pass. I never I would always give the 870 its due. They're an amazing platform. They were great. I do have a handful of Winchester 1300s and Model 12s, and Rob has it right there. Mossberg 590 is probably what I would recommend people looking for a new pump action go with, and that S model specifically, because you can shoot the mini shells. Then it will feed them.
The mini shells are fun.
Yeah, so then you can load up that 8+1 tube with like 14 minis.
Yeah, and go John Wick on whatever you're shooting at.
Yeah, and so I would say actually, Mossberg 590, and this is not me being a Mossberg fanboy because I am not. If you look in my safe, you'll find a lot more shotguns that start with B.
Yeah.
And, I have a Benelli Nova pump gun that I absolutely love. And that Benelli Supernova, same thing. I've got a 9+1 tube on it. Shoots 3.5 inch. You can use it for everything. It is ultra reliable in a goose pit or on the range. Like it is just a super, super solid shotgun. So that is where like my honorable mention of the pump action shotgun. Yeah, it falls on that.
That's totally cool, man. I didn't do any honorable mentions because I'm sticking with the 5, Nick.
I know. I just do. There's going to be some where people are going to be like, "Well, you didn't even mention." No, it's an honorable mention. It's on my list. It's over here.
All right, that's fine.
It's just not it's not as important.
All right. Well, then I'm going to go with my number 2 spot next, and that would be a solid 9mm pistol. And for this one, I'm going to run a Glock 34. A little longer barrel, a little bit better for accuracy. Again, I'm reverting back to my 34 competition pistol that I have with the Hive trigger in it. Once you get rid of the Glock trigger in there, that gun becomes a whole new ball game. And throw a red dot on if you'd like. I don't recommend appendix carrying. I met one guy who appendix carried a Glock 17L. I thought he was a nerd. I still do. I don't think anyone should ever appendix carry a Glock 34 or bigger. But hey, you do you, boo. So I think everyone should have a full-size frame firearm in their top 5 guns, because sometimes the compacts just can't do it. And so I want something with a little longer barrel to do a little bit longer shooting.
All right. RB over on YouTube says, I know y'all are the AR-15, but want to get into AK. Any advice? Yes. if you want to learn about AKs, find the Talking Lead podcast and look up the AK Corner. And that's been going on for 3 or 4 years now, like 4 years. And they do once a month a big, like, in-depth breakdown of AK stuff, and that would be the best place to find one. I do have one of those ugly commie guns. I have a Pioneer Arms Core, and it goes bang when it has the right type of magazines. Before that, I had a Wasser 10 that was an AK.
But then definitely go listen to the one where the AR-15 guys take on the AK guys, and at the end of the day, all the AK guys aren't grabbing their AKs when it comes to STF hit the fan. So they're going AR, so don't bother wasting your money. That's just me.
Yep. So, Dusty commented with yours is definitely a set of 9s, duty and carry. Can we count them as one? No? Okay.
No.
All right. So you just brought up 9mm pistols.
Mm-hmm.
I, too, have 9mm pistols on my list. Or a 9mm pistol on my list.
Fair.
And this actually pairs in with something that's kind of in gun industry news today, or actually yesterday. I'm going to say, and I'm making a bold statement here, this is the only handgun on my list.
Cool.
And I'm going to say that a SIG 365 XL is the handgun that one should pick. That is the one that I am choosing, and I'm going to go down the rabbit hole as why.
All right, let's hear it.
So with the SIG 365 family, I've just got into, like, I've been carrying a 365 XL for 3 or 4 years now. And with that, like, I run a 365 XL with a dot, and they are ultra solid. Like, I can do everything with it that I can do with my full size handgun. It's just I can conceal it. Yep. I know that with that, the other handy thing is with SIG having the fire control group, it is one gun that you can pull out, and you could have another grip module to run as a just a standard 365. And I pocket carry a 365.
You do, and I've started to as well. So
and now yesterday they announced the 365
Fuse. And
Yeah,
I think that should be an honorable mention, honestly. And the only reason it wouldn't be on my list is because I haven't shot it yet because it just came out.
Yep. So the 365 Fuse, which is still part of the 365 family, and has a 4.3-inch barrel, and it takes the X Macro grip, which the 365 X Macro is a 365 XL that has a 17-round flush fit magazine.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that is... So I have the capability to run, 17-round magazines out of my XL, or now 21-round magazines out of my XL. So my concealed carry handgun that I run every day, that you and I have both shot, like, even the pocket carry guns out to 25 yards and been doing nothing but A-zone hits.
Yeah.
And like, we're running, well, I think we were running bill drills at 15 yards with them. And like sub 3 second from a pocket draw. That's getting with it for a gun that size. So I think for shootability, carry ability, and capacity, that 365 package, because like I said, you have the modularity of it, and it is just one gun. All you have to do is change the grip module, and specifically with the XL, you can run everything across it.
Yep.
And that is why it is the only one, because it could be used as a duty gun, but it also still works incredibly well as a carry gun.
Oh yeah, SIG nailed the whole concealed carry. I mean, there was a few options out there, but once the 365 line debuted, I think Sig revolutionized carry from pocket carry all the way to in the waistband, out the waistband, and now with this fuse, 21 round capacity is just pretty dang sweet. And you're right, all you're really buying is the fire control unit, and as long as you can get your hands on any frame, you can swap that bad boy out, and mom's a word. You can run whichever one you want. You could go down from the 365 all the way up to the fuse now, and it's super cool. So
Yeah,
I'm a fan.
yeah. I mean, I sit here surrounded by parts, so
Yeah. So yeah, in that regard, I understand, and I didn't take it to that extreme because sitting in my I believe number 3 spot is the 365, and not the XL, just the 365. Because for what Nick said, he's started to pocket carry. I might have had one that I released into the wild and it didn't go far because now Nick owns it. And actually, while we were at the range shooting them one day, the one I told him had the curved trigger, and I kept the flat trigger only for the aspect of it looked cool. And so Nick and I did a few drills, and we did rapid fire, and then we took our time shooting at a 15-yard group. And after we'd shot, I believe like 6 magazines each out of our firearms, we had a powwow about it, and we went, what did you like? What did you not like about the triggers? And Nick actually chose the flat trigger because he really, well, I'll let you explain it since you're here.
oh, it part of it is just the size of my finger.
Yeah.
The curved trigger pinched, but also all the rest of my SIGs have flat triggers,
Yeah.
and I shoot them exceedingly well.
Yeah, and I thought I pulled the curve trigger better just because I got a better trigger press on it, and so we we did a little swappy swap, and away we went. So I personally like the 365 just because it is super concealable. As Nick said, we were shooting groups at A zone groups at 25 yards. I think it's a very reliable and accurate pistol. And as far as concealment goes, that is my choice of gun now. I for the longest time was a 380 guy just because I like to pocket carry. I'm a lazy concealed carry guy. I'm a big guy though too, and so I choose comfortability over a lot of things. And so I've always pocket carried. I've shot my carry pocket guns out to 40 yards, and I'm comfortable doing that. And all it does is it takes practice. So now with these 365 in my pocket, I feel very comfortable going anywhere and not having to deal with a backup or carry my North American arms because we all know I'm a red dead eye with that thing. So
Yep. Rob over on Facebook says, "But why would you only want to have one 9mm handgun? You need an excuse to have a full size, a compact, and a pocket, etc." 100%, and I agree with that wholeheartedly. I have all of those things, but this thought experiment was if you could only have 5 guns,
yeah,
and only having 5, the handgun is important, but the handgun is only important if you have it on you.
correct. And that's why we promote training. So if you
Yes.
guys are out there and you only actually are capable to own 5 guns because of finances or whatever, go out and train with it. Know your weapon. Know how to function it. Know how to shoot it. Know how to take it apart and clean it. Because if your gun's not clean and in a functioning order, all you have is a really heavy, cool paperweight.
Yes. And as we keep going through here, because like we both hit our we both have done 3. Um, my my number 3 seed honorable mention was actually a full size 9mm handgun. Like you should have a duty gun that would go on your kit. Like if you're going out on patrol or something like that, that is, that's something you should have.
But let me ask you this: is it a Sig or is it a Beretta?
At the moment, I'm going to run one of my SIGs just because I do not have any red dot capable Berettas at the moment.
So,
And I would recommend having it dressed with a dot because, like, even my 365 XL runs a dot.
mm-hmm.
And if I had a M9A4 with a dot on it, it would probably be a Beretta.
That's fair, man. So they just not make them? I owned a Beretta for a very short time, but I didn't really dive down the rabbit hole of Beretta. Did they not just make red dot, accessible Berettas, or is this just not their style?
Oh no, they just recently came out. You had to do
Okay.
a bunch of work. You had to do a bunch of work to get everything to work. Ernest Langdon actually figured out how to do it.
Okay.
And because that man is a genius, and he figured out how to make it work and started running the dots on Berettas, and that was, it's a within the last 2 to 3 years option.
Hmm. That's fine. Jeff, I don't have anything bad to say about the Kimber K6. I own one myself. I think they're a smooth shooting gun. I really do. I don't want to put my hands in the. I don't want to put my life in the hands of 6 shots. So basically, I know I did that with my 380s, but I also carried an extra magazine. And I guess if you're rocking wind clips and you can speed load a revolver, props to you. But I've tried it for competition. I fumble around way too much, and I will not go down because I was trying to reload a gun. So that's just my 2 cents on the whole thing.
Yep. So Garth, what is your number 2?
No, I think I left 1 and 5, right?
Okay, whatever. Yeah.
Well, all right. Well, see, since you kind of made a valid point on my 12 gauge, it really made me think that shoot, maybe I should switch my list up a little bit, and I'm actually going to, which is I am going to go with the Rimfire family, and I am going to go in the number 5 seed now with a 17 HMR. And I know that. Oh, go ahead.
A 17 HMR.
17 HMR. I really do like 1022s. 22 LR is an awesome round, and I have seen them take down bigger animals, but I just know that there's a little bit more powder, a little bit more zip behind a 17 HMR. I have owned one of the, what company makes them? The Alexander Arms had the 17 HMR AR platform. And while I thought it was a very cool concept, I would never own it again because there was a lot of feeding issues. So I would definitely go with a Ruger bolt action 17 HMR Ruger American. I think they're a fantastic gun. You can shoot them out to 200-300 yards and bring steel all day long with them. Even farther if you actually know how to do math and geometry when you shoot. But I just think they're a zippy little round, man. I take them out prairie dog hunting all the time. At 150 yards, I'm taking them out. It's fun. So they're a nice little shooter, accurate little gun. Yeah, I really enjoy the 17. I think that's a fantastic round to have in anyone's arsenal.
Yep. And I know I still have. Let's see. I've wrote up 1, 2 of my honorable mentions. I'm going to mention number 5 on my honorable mention, and that is a 22 rimfire pistol.
Nice.
Because a 22 rimfire, like a 22 pistol with a can on it, is just stupid fun to shoot.
Oh yeah.
And they call them hush puppies for a reason.
I cannot deny it. I have a can on my SIG P322, and it is movie theater quiet, like movie Hollywood quiet, we'll say. It is stupid fun.
Yeah. So that was my honorable mention, was a 22 pistol, and of course with a can.
Mm-hmm.
Now, moving into my top two.
Top two.
So top 22 or top two. It's not a 22. No, it is AR-10. Uh, you should have an AR-10 in either 308 or 6.5 Creedmoor.
Mm.
I would recommend getting a quality one from a reputable manufacturer. Like pick up the Mitchell Defense 308. Uh, you know, some of the ones we've tested have been okay, but we did not opt to buy them. I have a couple I've built in 308 that are awesome. I still need to get my hands on a Ruger S-FAR in 6.5 again. I know the one I shot at SHOT Show was amazing.
Yep.
And no 8.6. We're not doing that fad BS here. So Jeff says 308 because of reloading books for days, and that is correct. But 6.5 Creedmoor also has an insane amount of reloading data available for it in the books, and like realistically, if you pick up a properly set up 6.5 Creedmoor in an AR-10, you can shoot that to a mile.
Mm-hmm.
I know people who have done it. They're running gas guns to a mile. 1,000 yards is no issue, and both of those are big enough to take any game on the North American continent, which is where we based out of. So that's what we care about.
Exactly.
And you can do that. I mean, I would set them up with first, a good quality VZ grip. The unique features of VZ grips is they're machined from a solid block of G10, and it's great because it's durable and doesn't get slippery when covered with mud, blood, or sweat. 17-degree grip angle and wide variety of textures from mild to extreme, as well as color options available and shorty versions. 1911 grips with extreme customizability, standard slim palms, swell, slim notches, safety cuts, bottom profiles, and more. More than 25 textures and 27 colors are available. And this coupon code is good for 15% off all handgun and rifle grips. And that code is AR-15 podcast.
You bet, man.
So when I say that, again, I'm going to say have a can on it because I am so used to shooting with a can that anything else seems uncivilized.
No, that's true. I really do enjoy shooting cans. Actually, I mean, all the guns I've listed so far, in theory, could have a can on them. Shotgun could be threaded. 9mm Glock 34 obviously could be threaded as well. Not sure I would thread the 365. Could be doable. Not saying I would do that because it kind of defeats the purpose of concealed carry. And then, of course, the 17 threaded, which is over in my safe right now, is an absolute blast because, yeah, that is also not quite movie theater quiet or not Hollywood quiet, but pretty dang close. So very, very neat.
And then the other thing I will say is if you're going to do a 308, I'm not going to say like, oh, this is something you should have that's got the 16-inch barrel or anything like that. I'm talking if you're doing 308, 18 to 20-inch barrel, you're going to be long, 20 to 22 inch in a 6.5. And it's going to be longer with the can on it, which I get, but I'm not thinking about this as something you're going to be doing house to house stuff with.
Yeah.
And yep. Oh, Rob, you missed it earlier. I did mention the 22 CMMG conversion kit earlier. Rob says he's had great luck with the CMMG 22 conversion kit. You can cheat it with that, and I have a build, and my daughter actually shoots one of those in competition right now. So we are well versed in those and love them.
Oh, yeah, no, they're super fantastic. I actually had that and was doing that for competition, and I had to actually switch back because with the conversion kit, and this is something you guys should think about if they are going to shoot 22 with competition and use that kit. With the gas system, it is so dang quiet, the timer won't pick it up. And so that's why I went back to my Smith & Wesson M&P 22 and Now, Nick's daughter has my old conversion kit, which is fantastic for her because it's a great way to learn without having to deal with
Yeah.
the loud bangs. So,
And Jeff, you're asking how old is the 6.5 Creedmoor round? That came into production in late 2007. So
fairly
we're
new
we're
then.
we're bucking up on 20 years, but it's also been adopted officially by parts of the Department of Defense.
Mm.
So it's entrenched. And so that's what I'm just saying, like 308, 6.5 Creedmoor. In our area, I would favor 6.5 Creedmoor more than 308.
Mm.
Only because of how much open distance we have in our area.
Yeah. And actually, Nick, to your point, and that's why I chose the 17 over going with the 308 in my list because, again, a 12 gauge is capable of taking down a lot of big game around here. And again, you know me, I don't like distance shooting, so the 17 made more sense in my arsenal. I also want to hit back with Dirt Racer. He wants a 1022 and 17 HMR. They have that. It's called the A17. Savage makes it.
No, so they did make a very short-lived 1022 in it.
Oh, did they now?
But yep, the problem with that is it kept breaking bolts. There were a couple companies that actually would do conversions, but you had to do a conversion off of the Magnum Research 22 Magnum variant.
Oh, boo.
Yeah.
No,
I'm
the
going to
Savage was
bring up
fun.
I'm going to bring up my my other honorable mention, which is a bolt action rifle, again in one of those previously mentioned calibers, probably 308 or 6.5 Creedmoor.
Mm-hmm.
You know, for much the same reasons why I said to do it with an AR, but I prefer to shoot with an AR, so that's what I picked.
No, it totally makes sense. So, well, I guess we're down to the last one, the nitty gritty, which is no surprise. And if anyone has any guesses what we're gonna pick, they're not gonna win a prize because they know. So I'm just gonna break it down. Number one pick in the overall AR-15 top 5 guns you probably should own if the government said you could only own 5 draft is my Sig Sauer M400 tread 16-inch barrel AR-15. Just because, well, I can do all sorts of things with it. I can put my prisms on. I can put my LPVOs on. I can take it to, I think reasonably for me, 400 yards is a great shot. And it's also with the LPVO. And then you can bring that back down to 1 power and it can become your fighting rifle in a very short amount of time. Suppressed, of course, obviously, if you're not suppressing, I don't know what you're doing, but it's so versatile with the modularities you can do with it. Obviously throwing your VZ grips on it. Stock options are limitless. Vertical foregrips, angle grips, finger grips. You can throw a binary in there, and you can really go to town if you want. I have a
Or the stuffing things.
or this. That's what I was just gonna say. Or the stuff and things. I have a stuff and things paintball trigger on my 10.5-inch Ruger right now, and that is a joy to shoot if you can get the timing down.
Yes. So again, yep, mine is also an AR-15 and 5.56 223. That is a shock to no one.
No, not at all. So.
If you were going for a 16-inch gun, like I have a couple of my custom builds that I would pick. Like I very much so have a one of my builds that I would consider my go to war gun. If I was buying one off the shelf, having been playing more and more with factory guns,
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to give it up to that Mitchell Defense.
Fair enough.
If I'm doing a 16-inch gun, that is 100% what I want to go with, and I'm probably going to put a Yankee Hill turbo on it.
Yep.
And then a 1 to 10 first focal plane, and a sling and a light,
And a
and the
VC
light,
grip.
well, and the light I would put on it.
Yes.
Well, actually, the sling is going to be a flatline fiber,
Yep.
and because I love them. the light is going to be a Streamlec ProTech HLX, and tape switch, everything mounts up right from the factory. We're going to put it on. I'm going to rock that quad rail, or maybe even do the M lock, because Garth is like, oh, you and your quad rail thing.
Dude, I don't knock quad rail. I mean, I used to be big into it. My first true AR was my SR-556, which had quad rail, and it was very cool. It was super heavy, but it was cool.
Yep. So no, I'm going to say that. But in actuality, I'm also going to say you either need to have a 16-inch AR, or personally, I will say stop at 11.5, but I'm going to throw a hard stop on an AR pistol with anything shorter than a 10.5-inch barrel.
Mm-hmm.
So AR-15, 10.5-inch barrel minimum length with a can on it. And
yeah, don't go past 10.5 inch. I had a 7-inch barrel, and that was really stupid.
Yeah, then throw a dot and a magnifier on that, and you're good to go to 300 easy.
Yeah, all day long. One, you can defend yourself with it. Two, you can hunt with it. It's the all-around versatile rifle. I mean, I don't know why anyone would think otherwise, coming from the two guys who run the AR-15 podcast. But no, seriously, that's just every American who believes in the Second Amendment and believes in freedom needs to own an AR-15 for many reasons. So
Jeff asked what barrel twist. I run a 1 and 7 and everything.
yep.
1 and 7's where it's at. I guess I do have a couple 1 and 8s that are older guns, but other than that, I stick with 1 and 7. Rob, I do understand what you're saying there. It's Rob says he's a few 16-inch guns, but he likes his 18 better, and that is great. I have an 18-inch gun that I love. That's my SPR. We were shooting that out to 850 yards last week, and it's great. I love it, and that it's a fun gun to shoot. But if I was down to and granted, we could say the kind of like I did with the 365 and cheat and be like, I could just pop different uppers on it and off of it for whatever I needed to do.
You absolutely could, because the gun is all. I mean, the serialized part is the lower. So I mean, yeah, absolutely could.
Yep, and I'm gonna say I have an 11.5 that I would go to take anywhere on the planet with me. And I also have a 16-inch that I'd take anywhere on the planet with me. And both of those are more than capable of 300 meters, which is, if I need to go further than that, I'm probably going to be grabbing something bigger.
Dude, I have that same thought about the two I own. One of them is my M400, and the other one is my Ruger AR pistol. And you guess where they live? So wherever I go, they go.
Yep. So I do have one final
Honorable mention. Cool. Let's hear it.
PCC in the same caliber as your carry gun, and even better if it uses the same mags.
Well, that's just fantastic for me, because I also have both of those in my carry bag as well. So
and you run Glock.
I run Glock, and I don't want to get us kicked off YouTube tonight, so I'm not going to pull up.
Uncultured swine.
Well, I mean, I could. It's right behind me. For those of you
for running Glock.
Well, I am, but you know what? That's just me, because I like Glock magazines. So get off my back. But if any of you guys haven't shot the new Gen 3 in the Kel-Tec Sub 2000, go ahead and shoot it. It's a fantastic gun. Even Nick can't say anything bad about it. He shot it at my range last Wednesday. And
I've never said anything bad about the Kel-Tec.
all right, just making sure. Just checking to see if you're listening. So
I actually at one point was like trying to get on the pre-order for the Kel-Tec Sub 2000 SD. Their integrally suppressed version.
Yeah, that would be super fun.
And then I found out they only made it to take Glock mags, and I no longer wanted one.
Yeah, I know. You're like, no, I'm over it, but that's fine. It's whatever. I thoroughly enjoy the Kel-Tecs. I mean, the Gen 1s throw a lot of powder because of the brake, but they really did fix that on the Gen 3. I feel like it doesn't throw nearly as much powder just because of the brake open, but I thoroughly enjoy that gun.
Yes.
So yeah, that's I think that's all I got for my top five, man. I didn't have any honorable mentions really, but there's one I do need to talk to you about, and that's
I'm
Patriot
here.
Patch, patriotpatch.co. Because guys, they have so much to offer. They have the Patch of the Month Club. They have 10 signs like the Liberty sign Nick has there. They have cleaning mats that Nick and I both use as mouse pads, and it's super cool because this one is AR-15, America's favorite rifle. It breaks every piece down, so I can see what I'm doing when I can't pull the internet because things are getting rough. They also have, the patch of the month. Nick has the all luck, no skill patch they have there. So join that. I believe it's like $15 a month. They send you a really cool patch, a sticker in the mail, a list of all the patches they have. They also have pop culture patches, movie patches, everything of the like. So go check out Jake at Patriot Patch, patriotpatch.co, and support a local South Dakota business.
Oh,
Yeah,
yes, that is right.
it is. It's cool.
Yep. And guys, as we keep going through here again, we just talk about that. Some of this is just to get a little bit of thought and right into us with what you think your five would be, because only picking five is super hard.
Oh, dude, if I actually only had to own 5 guns, and we gave our list, but I would go insane. I can't stop at 5. And I guess, if they told us that, well, then we would have our second Revolutionary War. So,
Well, it's one of those where it's like, how many guns do you own? All of them.
yeah, all of them plus my next one.
Yeah, I definitely fall into the camp of it is very hard for me to pick five.
Couldn't do it.
Yep. So Rob, if you caught last month, or we are going to be getting into a little bit more training stuff. We kind of exhausted some of those training drills for doing rifle stuff, but I've been writing some more. So we are going to be putting some more of those out again soon. We did talk about some last week, and we will have more training stuff coming out again because I love training.
Oh, dude, training is fun. It is, especially when you go with Nick because he'll just hijack your range day and turn it into a training session. So it's happened a few times. But yeah, guys, I know this is a Wednesday night, and tomorrow is Thursday, our normal day to record. But it's also the day we leave for GunCon. So if any of you guys are in the Grinnell, Iowa area, and you have tickets to come to GunCon, let us know because we'd love to hang out with you and talk all things AR-15 and guns in general, or just shoot the moon about other things. So if you're going to be there, look us up.
Yes, we will be around, and our good buddy Kurt got to learn how to run a 9mm now, and that's okay, bud.
Get rid of those 40s. Gross.
I can help you.
No, we can.
And showing some training clips, that might be something that we work to in the future to get some of that going, and maybe we'll start doing some training clips posted up to the YouTube or to the social medias as shorts or reels.
Yeah, that actually be a lot of fun. And we're gonna post it probably to Instagram and Rumble because, well, gosh, if we do it on Facebook or YouTube.
Oh no, we can still do that. It's just we can't do it live.
Oh, okay. Well, all right. Then we'll post it everywhere because we like training. I currently do still have my MPX, but it is looking for a new forever home. So there's that.
Anyway. Well, Garth, do you have anything else to add before we sign off for the night?
No, man, it was fun chatting about the 5 guns the government could try to tell me to own, but I'm going to own all of them, like you said. So suck it.
Oh, yep. And, guys, as we come up, I know Garth kept saying the government will only let you do this. So I'm going, nope, just 5 guns that every guy should own. But to make Garth's brain work, you had to do it that way.
Well, I had to do it that way because if we're just doing 5 guns, I'd say all the guns, and then I just want to talk about all the guns in my safe. It just wouldn't make sense. So
Yeah, that's okay. No, but to also remember that next week, a week from tomorrow, be July 4th. And I hope everyone out there has a fun and safe Independence Day. And remember that we once fought a war against taxes. And now we pay taxes on things to celebrate a war to stop paying taxes.
correct.
But no, guys out there, remember, no matter what happens, you are your own first responder. No one is coming to save you. So with things coming up, make sure you have your medical gear in order. Make sure that you've got some medical training. Take a Stop the Bleed class. Buy a tourniquet. Don't blow your fingers off. Don't play with M80s. And I mean, if you do, be safe about it. But as we come up on this holiday season, everyone, remember, be safe, be with your family, be with your friends. But you are your own first responder. Go out there, get training, touch grass, do a little work. And, no matter what, no one is coming to save you. Do you have anything else you'd like to add, Garth?
No, man, that was beautiful. You should have just went with your last line of the night.
Yes. And, I'd say that, but my last line's always the same.
Yeah.
And that is, you folks out there, stay safe and stay armed. Support the people who support the show. Primary Arms, VZ Grips, 4Patriots.com, and Patriot Patch Company. Be sure to check us out on social media. AR-15 Podcast 2.0 on Instagram. AR-15 Podcast 2.0 on YouTube. AR-15 Podcast 2 on Twitter. AR-15 Podcast on Facebook and wherever podcasts are found. If you just want to drop us a line, let us know how we're doing, or give us a show idea, make sure to send that email to AR-15podcast 2.0 @gmail.com.